I see art as really integral to my spiritual practice. I think art in itself can be inherently meditative and communal. I do art at the Creative Arts Workshop in New Haven, and I've done pottery and painting there. And they're two very different experiences. Pottery, and I don't know if this is just the leadership of the teacher, but pottery is a very communal experience. We're always talking, we're always thinking about art, and painting is a lot more contemplative in solitude and in silence. But I see all different types of forms of art as kind of communal and meditative. um, yeah, I also kind of do other forms of art that I think exemplify kind of this relationship between religion and food and art. My grandma, when she is, my family is originally from the Midwest. And so there are a lot of different like agricultural elements of the Midwest and that landscape. But my grandma made art of beans. She would glue beans to different canvases. And we have this really great bean work of hers of a chicken, and which I don't know, kind of coming with agricultural themes. Yeah, I guess chickens are very interesting motifs, kind of like in our like I don't know, I feel like in the white like uh design design kind of imagination, chickens are a really big
Mm.
deal. um, um but yeah, so I find that also exploring kind of working with food is challenging in itself, because as I said before, food is kind of ephemeral. And so how do you capture the essence of food while also using it in your art practice? And then of course, I think kind of harkening back to what I was talking about at the very beginning of our discussion with Karita Kent. She definitely was looking at the Eucharist and food as having inherently something political to say and something related to social justice and social issues. And um, at the Venice Biennale in 2024, there was an art show in a church there that Pope Francis spoke at. And basically, his speech was about how um, art is like a city of refuge for people, and that it creates forms of human belonging and that are capable of recognizing and protecting and embracing everyone. And so there's also a lot of kind of yeah underpinnings of art and religion that I see in my study and in my practice. um, and I think something that I also explored when I was an undergraduate and I was involved in slow food, there was this project. Let me just check his name before I speak. His name is Douglas Gayton. He's an artist who created this collage project called the Lexicon of Sustainability. And the Lexicon of Sustainability, the basic premise was that we can't people can't be expected to live more sustainable lives if they don't have the basic terms and principles to define sustainability. And so the project itself was a photographic project that would go and photograph different farms, different food cycles, and then he would make a collage out of that. And on top of the collage, right, and I can provide some of these images that may be helpful for kind of the
Yeah.
multimedia project that you're creating, but he would write on top of these collages like different definitions of what sustainability is. And so I think art is not only a meditative practice, but art can also help us kind of reach this misinformation kind of gap that we have in society, that art can help us define and further, like for each person, explore what sustainability means for them, what religion means to them. And so yeah, there are a lot of I love the practice of art. My mom is an artist. I grew up with art. And I think it's been really wonderful to kind of explore art and creativity in an academic way, but also continue into my personal life outside of academia, because right now I'm not in academia anymore. But yeah, I absolutely love art as a meditative practice and see kind of like these deeper connections about art and religion and politics within the rhetoric of both religious leaders and in my own practice.